Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from relationship advice. Our first post is by Throwaway. An update. How do I, M40, tell my kids F12, 15 and 17 that my infidelity is the reason for the divorce? I took everyone's advice and involved my ex-wife in this situation. Safe to say she was pissed off at my poor choice in partners and having to deal with this BS. But we got together with the girls at ex-wife's house and told them. Many of you suspected the girls already knew. Incorrect. Apparently they thought we broke up because of my job and my refusal to accept a new one. We did not lie to them during the divorce and tell them an untrue reason. We just told them that relationship issues are private and we would be willing to have a discussion when they were all adults. So thankfully, there is no trust lost in my ex-wife, which some of you were concerned about. All my girls were incredibly upset. They were being cordial with my girlfriend because their mom encouraged them to be civil but apparently hated her. They couldn't believe I would give up my wife for her, our family and their stability, which is fair. They are refusing to see me for now. My ex and I are going to get them into therapy, and I'm hopeful that over time we can rebuild a relationship. My oldest is furious and has sent me some scathing messages and then blocked me, so I am really concerned about her. And I missed some of her huge life events due to my affair, and I think that will be hard for her to forgive. As for the girlfriend, she is gone plain and simple. She has her next partner lined up and is moving to be with him. I can't say I'm hurt about that, which shows me how little I cared for her. I just feel relieved. A bunch of you suggested getting back with my ex-wife. Unfortunately, that topic has been breached when the affair was discovered, and she is 100% uninterested. She takes her job as a mom very seriously, and in her mind, the girls would eventually know, and it would be setting a bad example for them to take back a cheater. Even independently of that, cheating has always been a deal breaker for her. I feel bad, as she was planning on moving her partner in, and now feels like she has to delay it until the girls are in a better place. She was really angry with me, especially for that reason. In her anger, she's also let it slip that her and her partner are planning on marrying in the next few years and having another child. She's never shared anything personal with me past allowing me to meet her partner before the girls did, so that was a shock to me. I'm trying to process that information. That hurts more than my girlfriend cheating and leaving, which tells me I have a lot more work to do in getting over her. There is a permanence in her marrying that I am not prepared for. It's been a sobering experience for me. Thank you to everyone who legitimately gave me advice. It was very helpful. If I could in turn offer some advice, don't cheat on your partner. The grass is greener where you water it, and if I had taken the time, effort, and energy I gave my affair partner and invested it in myself and my wife, I would be incredibly happy right now. And as a side note to all the men messaging, commenting, and congratulating me for getting a younger woman, that crap doesn't matter. I've never looked at my ex-wife and thought she was old or unattractive, and she was better in bed than my ex-girlfriend. This had nothing to do with getting a younger woman or trading my wife in. It had to do with a self-destructive ego that has led to the most important people in my life hating me. All that crap is irrelevant. Don't get caught up in it. Our next post is by Throwaway. I-28M sent my girlfriend 27F flowers anonymously. I sent my girlfriend a box of flowers anonymously the day after Christmas. Don't really know what prompted me to do this, but I for sure didn't get the reaction I was expecting. For context, I am 28M, and she's 27F. We've been dating on and off for about 5 years, but we got serious in 2022, became stable, exclusive, and started talking about moving in together in the near future. 2023 was pretty rough for both of us individually and financially, but our relationship has been fine, or so I thought up until now. Like I said in the beginning, I sent her a box of flowers from J'adore les Fleurs, and if you know them, those flowers are not cheap. I did not put a note, nor did I tell her that I was sending the flowers. The day they were delivered, they called and said they would be delivering them to her place in an hour. I took it upon myself to pick up her favorite breakfast and go surprise her with that after the flowers were delivered. First red flag. When I was close to her apartment and started calling her to tell her that I was surprising her with breakfast and would be outside in a few minutes, she did not pick up the phone. She texted me and told me she was on the phone handling something and would call me back. After about 10 to 15 minutes of waiting, still no call back, I texted her and said that I had picked up breakfast for her and that I was outside and if she could just come down and get me. She read my message and didn't respond for another few minutes before calling me back and saying she was coming down. She did not say anything about the flowers, even though I know they had been delivered, and the delivery driver sent a picture of them in front of her door, so I know it was at the right unit. She comes down and greets me with a hug and a kiss, the usual, and we went upstairs. The flowers were nowhere to be seen, and she was mad jumpy. She kind of guided me to the couch, and was really weird about me getting up and moving around her apartment. She kept asking me if I wanted anything, water or whatever, and said that she would bring it to me. She doesn't usually do this, but that in itself is not so weird. What was weird to me was the fact that she was glued to her phone texting the whole time, and she seemed a little upset. I didn't say anything about the flowers. I told her I had just came by to drop off breakfast and that I had to go handle some things and would call her later. I got up and left, and she let me leave without a second thought. Few days passed by as normal, and I still didn't mention the flowers. Last night on New Year's Eve we were at a party together and got a little drunk, and in the middle of a conversation about something completely off topic, she stops mid-sentence and says, "By the way, did you send me flowers the other day?" I said yes. She said they didn't have a note or anything and asked why I didn't tell her. I told her it was on a whim and I had kind of forgot, and instantly our conversation was interrupted by the 30 seconds to midnight countdown. The rest of the night was normal. Today I went to her apartment again, and now the flowers are on her living room table in plain sight. I mentioned that I hadn't seen them last time I was there, and she claimed they hadn't been delivered yet. I know for a fact that's a lie. Is she cheating on me? Our next post is by Throwaway. My M27 family wants me to break up with my girlfriend, F22, after how she responded to my brother's M22 prank. Hi Reddit, long-time lurker, first-time poster. I know how the title sounds, but I could honestly use some outside perspective, since anyone else I could ask is biased towards the situation. I have been dating my girlfriend Lola for about 2 years now, and overall things have been great. My brother Ian has always been pretty weird whenever she comes up or is around. Ian and I are very close, talking to each other daily, but the conversation will usually change gears right as I start talking about anything Lola related. I thought maybe he was jealous of the time I was spending with her, or maybe a little crush on her. Still, whenever we'd get together, he'd make comments about our age gap, poke fun at me for simping, and joke about her sleep disorder. Ian's always enjoyed a good prank, either pranking or being pranked. He loves to laugh, and I genuinely believe that when he goes to prank people, he means it in a way to share the laughter. When he's tried to pull little pranks on Lola though, he does things that he figured out triggers her disorder, like making sudden loud sounds, jumping out to scare her. And one time I caught him before he was going to do the shaving cream sleep bit while she was taking a nap in the guest room. I warned him in more detail then that he shouldn't mess with her while she's sleeping, as interrupting her regulated cycles isn't good for her, and at the absolute best, she's the worst kind of cranky when she's woken up. Ian looked like he understood, and I thought that was that. I threw a New Year's Eve party a few days ago and invited Ian and a bunch of mine and Lola's friends. Everyone was having a good time. My watch went off with the alarm that we set up for Lola to take a nap. She went off with a sleepy smile. I kept partying. A while later we all heard a scream, followed soon after by cussing and something breaking. I panicked, as it was from my room where Lola was, and I ran through, nearly kicking the door down, to find she shoved someone down and was yelling at them. I looked to see who it was and saw a spider mask that I unfortunately recognized as Ian's from years ago. I saw him scrambling to get away, but she only stopped when 3 of her friends pushed past me to pull her up and check her before she ultimately passed out in their arms. Ian scrambled off the floor and ripped the mask off, revealing the work she'd managed to do in the time it took us to react. He started bawling, telling me that she was insane and abusive, that he only wanted to make sure she wasn't going to sleep through the ball drop. At this point, everyone started yelling. Ian looked terrified and kept repeating that she was crazy and that I shouldn't be with someone who could do this to her boyfriend's brother. Some of my guys were yelling that if she did it to him, she could do it to me. All of her friends were screaming about how he should know to leave a sleeping girl alone and how it was creepy. Ian ended up calling our mom to tell him that Lola hurt him and she's furious. Lola's friends ended up carrying her out against my protests, and my friends were nearly split down the middle. I remember standing there while everyone argued while the ball dropped. my mother calling me for the 10th time, and Lola finally texting me that she needs space to think. Since then, we've lightly texted. She's expressed that she can't shake her fear of what happened, but she still hasn't told me from her side what happened. Ian and my mom are trying to convince me to break up with her, and chastising me for not helping or standing up for my brother when he was being assaulted. Also demanding an apology for not playing my part as an older brother. Ian has FaceTimed a few other family members, and now my aunt, who paid for both our colleges and the house my mom and brother live in, and helped me get my apartment, is taking the 3-hour drive up to make sure her boys are okay, which is stressing me out even more. On one hand, I know family is family, and I should do what I can to stand up for the people who helped raise me and become the person I am. On the other hand, Lola is my girlfriend. I adore her, I love her, I feel like I should be there to protect her. I don't want to push her boundaries, but not talking to her is a different kind of hurt. Ian is convinced that he was doing a well-intentioned prank and was wrongfully punished for wanting to make sure everyone was enjoying themselves. I don't know if I believe that, but I've known Ian for 22 years. Growing up, we were inseparable. I don't want to doubt him just because love may be blinding me. How do I approach the situation with Lola? How can I convince my family that Lola isn't a threat? She's honestly the most sweet and caring person. She just can't be woken up, and part of me feels like she was pushed to that point. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.